Hey everybody. If you had watched my other video on removing a 500 carburetor, this is the next step, which is installing my 670 Truck Avenger back in. In my previous video, I had talked about having my Edelbrock 500 that was borrowed from a friend and let me try it out to see how different it is compared to my 670. And make sure to go and watch that video if you're curious. But this video is going to be about setting up my Holley 670 back in here. It had already been kind of dialed in more or less. The only thing that's not dialed in is the distributor because it was kind of set up for the Edelbrock 500. I'm going to try to get this installed, and I haven't decided yet if I'm going to adjust the distributor in this one. Probably not, but this is just a quick install. You want to make sure that you have a pair of needle nose pliers for hooking up. Excuse my hand again. You'll have your pedal linkage here, and then you'll have a spring. I have a double spring, so you'll need a needle nose for the double spring to connect it to your carburetor. I haven't had any leak issues, so I'm not cleaning off the top of this gasket here in order to do this. It's on there, it's fine. I'm not worried about it. If I have a problem with it, I'll replace it. And then you'll also want to have a open end 1/2-inch wrench or a ratcheted wrench so you can connect the 4 bolts to the carburetor. And then we can go ahead and set that up and then connect your lines. I'm just setting this up here so you guys can see, and I can have my hands free. Definitely want to make sure that you don't have anything going into your intake manifold. And then lift this up nice and heavy. Set it up nice and slow. It's not listening. There we go. And set it on. Okay, done. No, just kidding. I had spacers on my 500, but I don't need them for this. You want to go ahead and put your washers on, you could do that. And then your nuts. Just hand tighten them, it's fine. And then tighten them down. Just a little bit. I'm not completely tightening them. They're still loose. I'll take my other. What do I do with the other nut? I wanted to keep this video all one, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to because I am missing. I have the washer, both of these, and I have a nut. I am still missing a nut. If you guys watched my other video, you probably saw where that nut went. Well, I found something on the floor. Haha. But it's not my nut that I need. Alrighty, people. So I found the missing nut, and welcome to my wonderful magnet friend that found it for me. Nonetheless, I went ahead and already just put that nut on. So now all 4 nuts are on the carburetor. And then now I'm just kind of going around and snugging these down. Don't want or need to over tighten it. So there's, get this going here. And then need a little swivel action here, a little behind the scenes. So I need to find a, hopefully you guys can hear me. I'll speak up a little bit. Apparently, I have to go with a 1/2-inch swivel on this because it won't fit in here very well. There we go. Got a bent head and everything. Trying to fit this in here. There we go. Might actually be able to go with a smaller 1/2-inch. There we go. See if I can squeeze this in here. Yeah, that works. Don't need to really over tighten these. That should be good. Now the 500 had this cable attached for the ground for the distributor. Mine has a ground already attached to here, so that works. And I could just take the distributor wire, which at some point I'll reduce the size of it. Don't want to do it right now. That works. And then I'll just tuck it right there. And then we'll need to I put some blocks underneath so by the tire, so it makes it look like I have a little more length on me. So once again, I have the spring back here that I'm going to be connecting the hooks to. I'm just going to do one and then do the other, just to make life easier on myself. There's one. Second one is always harder. Actually, it's kind of I actually want to do the other one first, I guess. This one needs to be bent a little bit more. That way, hopefully. do the trick. Wants to be complicated. Okay, got the one. It is nice to have, at least it seems like it's nice to have a double spring, because it just means that you'll have a better return. There's a better way to do this. I'd love to know for next time. Usually it's not this difficult. It's being complicated. Not that I take these off every day, but a spring's a spring. And what it is it's not wanting to twist right. Oh, come on. So essentially, one of the things I did is I ended up taking my oh, come on. Ended up taking my valve covers off. And so when I took my valve covers off, my hoses are now not in the correct location that they were in before. Ta-da, got it in. Okay. And so now they're in a different location, therefore I have to make some adjustments. Like for example, this line was originally on that side, which then would port right into the back of the carburetor. But unfortunately, now that I have swapped the valve covers around, it won't reach. Same thing that goes with my vent here, but I got a replacement for it, so I don't have to actually run the line all the way up to the neck for the air cleaner. So I'm going to be cutting new line, and so we have the fuel line here that will run up to here with just a little bit of play. So right around here, just an open end knife is fine, and then cut through it. Cuts pretty easy as long as the blade is new. Then throw on a new clamp here and then slide her on. So this is the line that goes from down at the pump up through here, supplies the fuel. At some point I'm going to add another fuel filter. I only have one currently, and I got another one with my fuel tank, but I haven't installed it. And then we have my pedal linkage, which I will then connect it to there. Can't really see it, but it's just your on this side there's a bracket that you can connect it to, and you find out which one it goes in by testing it out, and then just put a little rubber stopper on the other end just to keep it from popping out. Okay, and then now that I have extra line here, I could run this line back behind here. This is just a vent line. I could run it up to here. Make sure it's in all the way. Decide how you want it, how long it is. Let's see, I'll turn. I don't know how well you guys can actually see this, but actually running it under my return spring so it doesn't get in the way of the linkage or the spring, which should do the trick. And then I turn it here. I can run it all up underneath my spark plugs, and then connect it to here. And that should be good. There we go. So that part's better. Some point in the near future, I'll need to replace my spark plug lines. They're not in the best of conditions at the moment. They're doing okay. All right, so now we have the pedal linkage hooked up. We have the pedal return spring, so that when you're using your pedal, it goes back. We have the vent line in the back here hooked up to the valve cover. Then on this side here, we hooked up the distributor power right here. We have this line here that we need to hook up, which goes from where the distributor is over here, and I have it currently running underneath and around to here, which is fine for now. I want to keep it long because I might need to rotate it, and so for now this will do. At some point I'll probably end up moving it again. Let's see, that goes there. All right, everything is more or less hooked up. I did get a couple new things to use. Be happy to share with you. One of them is a new breather. And that breather will minus out a hose. I'm currently cutting it, so you can't see it at the moment. But you'll see it here in a sec. A new breather. So, pulled off this one that has a line to it. And I'll be replacing it with this one. Hopefully. And there we go. So now the new one's in. We'll clean it off later, but there it is. And then I have my air cleaner that I'll be able to put on, back on. But that's about it, you guys. Hopefully you guys have learned a couple of things as far as for hooking that up. I'm going to start it up, and I have to do some adjustments to the distributor here. But other than that, everything seems to be hooked up. If I forgot something, I'm sorry, but I believe everything's done and should fire up. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.